you've just listened to You Really Got a Hold on Me. Now listen to us talk about it.
First off, the guitars in this song, we decided to use 2 acoustics because we believe that's what George and John were playing in this song with both their J160s plugged in. What do you think about that?
Well, I agree with you.
Okay.
Since we worked on it together. The reason we thought that is when we're listening to these songs, we usually, early Beatles songs, the vocals tend to be kind of panned one way and the band's panned the other way. So we listen to those things to figure out, to isolate things and figure out what's going on. And when you listen to just the vocals, in John's vocal mic, you definitely hear a J160 playing the part that's in the song. You know, they're recording the vocals and with the music. So John's definitely playing the J160. We know that. We don't know for sure what George is playing. Just we tried the country gent. It wasn't really happening. And we're starting to discover more and more how much they use the J160 with the P90 in the studio. The only thing we'll admit is our J160, which is this beautiful vintage J160 that Young Hines is kindly letting us use.
The P90 is out of service.
Yes, so there's a contact mic that sounds amazing when you plug in. It just sounds like an acoustic mic, but that's what's being used when we plug into the amp. So it doesn't quite sound like a P90. We'll get that fixed for you guys soon, but just full disclosure, we wanted to admit if it sounds a little acousticy, that's why. It is on way more early recordings than you think as an electric guitar. And there's videos, pictures of George playing it live. I was looking at one this morning where,
oh yeah,
you know, George is playing it at a show.
You wanted to talk about a particular bass note that isn't there in the bridge.
Yes, so in the dun dun bum bum dun 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 tighter, that part, the guitars have a lot of low end to it, and I always thought the bass continued, and when I started listening to it, I discovered the bass drops out, and you'll see that reflected in the video and the isolated videos. But you know, the guitars have a lot of low end to it on the recording, so it fools you, but I don't hear a bass continuing. I hear low end from the guitars continuing. One thing I'd also like to point out too is Paul tends to kind of staccato. If you're counting this in a 4-beat, it's in like 3/4, 6/8, whatever you call it, but like 1 da boom do 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 boom ba boom boom dum da da. He kind of like does that rhythm a lot. He really does mess around with that in the early days, legato versus staccato, and he does it very musically. Also, be conscious of the attitude behind everything you're playing with the Beatles. I have become more aware of that as I continue the journey with Ably House.
I've noticed that too, as I'm like rehearsing a part over and over, I start to not play with the same emphasis that I did.
Right, you're just playing notes and it's not.
Yeah,
quite,
you have to really dig into the notes a lot of times because they're really excited when they're recording these songs.
They are, and it conveys. To quote Miles Davis, any motherfucker can play a note. It's how you play the note.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the attitude. Well, yeah, I hope you guys have learned something. I know we have. Enjoyed playing the Beatles cover of Smokey Robinson's You Really Got a Hold on Me.
And we'll catch you next time.
Hell yeah.
Bye.